Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Dear kids of class 11, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to all of you. How are you, my dear cadets? I hope you all are fine at your respective homes. I welcome you all to my online class today. My dear cadets, you know very well, due to Corona, you cannot attend your regular classes long time. So, this online class will be helpful to you for continuing your lesson. First of all, let me introduce myself. You know very well who I am. Yes, I am Muhammad Moinuddin Khan, Assistant Professor of Botany, Department of Biology, your teacher. At the beginning of today's class, you have to know what is COVID 19 and how to protect yourself against COVID 19. Let's see the video clips about COVID 19.
COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a new coronavirus introduced to humans for the first time. It is spread from person to person, mainly through the droplets produced when an infected person speaks, coughs, or sneezes. These droplets can land in the mouths or noses of people who are nearby. These droplets are too heavy to travel far in the air. They only travel approximately 1 meter and quickly settle on surfaces. This is the reason person-to-person spread is happening mainly between close contacts. The exact time that the virus can survive on surfaces is not yet known. So it is wise to clean surfaces regularly, particularly in the vicinity of people infected with COVID-19. Hands touch many surfaces, which can be contaminated with the virus. You should therefore avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth, since contaminated hands can transfer the virus from the surface to yourself. When coughing or sneezing, cover your mouth and nose with the bend of your elbow or use a disposable tissue. If a tissue is used, discard it immediately into a closed bin. The most effective way to prevent the spread of the new coronavirus is to clean your hands frequently with an alcohol-based hand rub or soap and water. This will eliminate the virus if it is on your hands. Stay healthy and prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Okay, gentlemen, our today's topic is cell chemistry, which is called biochemistry, and chapter 3 and subtopics is carbohydrate. At the end of this class, you should able to learn to explain the chemical components of living body, to describe the classification of carbohydrates, to describe the reducing and non-reducing sugar, to describe the role of carbohydrate. Some important keywords in this chapter: metabolism, biological fuels, carbohydrate, monosaccharides, oligosaccharide, polysaccharide, reducing and non-reducing sugar, starch, cellulose, glycogen, triose, pentose sugar, D and L position sugar, sucrose, LDL, and HDL. At the beginning of this topic's introduction of cell chemistry, which is called biochemistry. The cell is the structural and functional unit of living body, and numerous biochemical processes occur in the living cell every moment. All these activities are known as metabolism. Organisms collect the raw materials for these activities either directly from the nature or synthesized in various processes. There exist structural variations in this biochemical substance presence in the living bodies, as well as there are diversities in their functions. The various biochemical substances present in the cell may be grouped into 7 major groups. These are the carbohydrates, protein, vitamins, lipid, hormone, enzymes, and organic acid. Energy remains stored in carbohydrate, lipid, and protein molecules, which are generally utilized in the metabolic process. For this, these substances are also known as biological fuel of the living body. The special branch of biological science dealing with the structure, synthesis, and functions of the biochemical substance present in the living body is called biochemistry. Now, definition of carbohydrate. Those organic components consisting of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, where the proportion of hydrogen and oxygen remains 2 is to 1 are called carbohydrate. The term carbohydrate was coined from hydrates of carbon where the proportion of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen should be 1 is to 2 is to 1. As for example, glucose, it is C6H12O6, but there are many compounds which do not follow this proportion but show the characteristics of carbohydrates like deoxyribose. On the other hand, there are some organic compounds which show the presence of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen in the proportion of 1 is to 2 is to 1, but they are not carbohydrates. As for example, formaldehyde, acetic acid, etc. These are some carbohydrates which contains additional atoms of nitrogen or sulfur but show characteristics of carbohydrates. For this reason, carbohydrates are defined by the modern scientists as carbohydrates are polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones or compounds which produce a large number of hydroxyl containing aldehyde or ketones molecule on hydrolysis. In most of the plants, 50 to 80% of dry mass is carbohydrates. Of all the organic substance present on the earth, the amount of carbohydrates stands first, which may be present at the structural components or storage substance of living body. At present, polyhydroxyaldehydes or polyhydroxyketones and their derivatives are also called carbohydrates. General symbol of carbohydrate is CX into H2O whole into Y, where X is equal to Y or not equal. Now, characteristics of carbohydrates. Usually, carbohydrates is a fibrous, granular, and powder-like substance. Carbohydrates can taste it sweet or have no taste at all. They form ester when mixed with acid. Heating carbohydrates for prolonged period causes it to transform into coal. Most of the carbohydrates are soluble in water. They exhibit optional optical isomerism and optical activities, function as the source of energy and released energy on oxidation. Mitochondria is a role of carbohydrates in living body. It is the principal structure components of plant body, component of cell wall as cellulose, chitin, hemicellulose, pectin, etc. Remains present in the plant body as starch, insulin, and in animals and fungi as glycogen. Functions as an intermediate substance or structural component of other compounds. Helps in the metabolism of fatty acid and amino acid. Number six, the most important components of nucleic acid are ribose or deoxyribose, which are nothing but pentose type carbohydrates. Carbohydrates also remain as the structural component of different coenzymes like ATP, NDP, FAD. They also function as the lubricant at both joints like mucilage. Carbohydrates participate in important cycles like Krebs cycle, Calvin cycle, etc. Now, classes of carbohydrate mitochondria. Carbohydrates are classified into three groups according to their structure: monosaccharide, oligosaccharide, and polysaccharide. Firstly, monosaccharide. Greek word mono means one and saccharide means sugar. It means single sugar or simple sugar. Monosaccharides are monomeric sugar and produce no other carbohydrates or hydrolysis. Generally, they are known as simple sugar. They contain 3 to 10 carbon atoms in their molecules. Simple sugar are sweet in taste, water soluble, crystalline, and reducing in nature. In these compounds, a free aldehyde or ketone groups and several hydroxyl groups may remain present. Simple carbohydrates, it means monosaccharides, function as the unit of complex carbohydrate. The most available simple carbohydrates present in nature is D-glucose, monosaccharide. Monosaccharides are grouped into different groups according to their number of carbon atoms present in the molecule. These are triose, tetrose, pentose, heptose, hexose, etc. Now, pentose sugar. Ribose is the example of pentose sugar. It is one type of pentose sugar. The chemical symbol is C5H10O5. There, there is aldehyde group in its structure. That is why it is known as aldopentose. It is a constituent material of ribonucleic acid, it means RNA. It is also take part to form nucleotide, NAD, NADP, FAD, ATP, etc. My dear colleagues, this is the structure of ribose. Deoxyribose. It is also pentose sugar. Its chemical symbol is C5H10O5. They have also a aldehyde group. It remains attached with deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA. Here, one molecule of oxygen is less in two number of carbons. So it is deoxyribose. DNA molecule is formed in combination of adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine, and deoxyribose sugar. My dear colleagues, this is the structure of chemical structure of deoxyribose. Now, hexose sugar. Glucose, fructose is the main example of hexose sugar. Glucose. It is one type of hexose monosaccharide. The chemical symbol is C6H12O6. There is an aldehyde group in it, so it is called aldohexose sugar. Glucose, fructose, mannose, galactose are the example of hexose sugar. It is white crystal, sweet in taste, and easily soluble in water. It is widely used as an instant energy of the patients. They act as a reducing agent due to the presence of aldehyde group in monosaccharide. So they are known as reducing sugar. Now, my dear colleagues, it's fructose. It is also a hexose sugar. The chemical symbol is C6H12O6. There is a keto group in it, so it is called ketohexose sugar. Generally, it is found in sweet fruit and honey. It is white, granular solid, and easily soluble in water. It is widely used to prepare sweet food. It is a reducing sugar. In ring structure, it may be in hexagonal or polygonal structure. In cases of sucrose, it remains as pentagonal structure. This is the structure of glucose and fructose. Now, oligosaccharide. Greek word oligo, it means few, and saccharide means sugar, it means few sugar. These are compound carbohydrates which produce 2 to 10 monomer units of the same or different carbohydrates on hydrolysis. Oligosaccharides are classified on the basis of the monomer units they produce on hydrolysis. These, these are disaccharides, trisaccharides, tetrasaccharides, etc. Among the different types of oligosaccharides, disaccharides are most common and present in high qualities and quantities. The monosaccharide monomers of an oligosaccharide molecule remain attached to each other by glycosidic bonds. A few examples of oligosaccharides are disaccharides, trisaccharides, tetrasaccharides, pentasaccharides, sucrose, maltose, lactose, cellulose, raffinose, tetra, etc. Now, sucrose. Sucrose is a very well-known disaccharide. It is known as a sugar of to everybody. The chemical symbol is C12H22O11. It is white, granular, easily soluble in water, and sweet in taste. It is available in the juice of sugarcane, beet, pineapple, date palm, and tal palm. It is widely used to prepare varieties of sweets, foods. One molecule of glucose unites with one molecule of fructose to form one molecule of sucrose and released one molecule of water. Now, my dear cadets, one molecule of glucose and one molecule of sucrose made one molecule of sucrose and one molecule of water. It has no free aldehyde or ketone groups. Such carbohydrates are known as non-reducing sugar, like sugar. On hydrolysis of sucrose, again, two equal quantity of glucose and fructose are formed. This is the structure of sucrose. Now, my dear cadets, polysaccharide. Greek word poly means many and saccharide means sugar. It means many sugar. When more than 10 monomer units from a polymer by formation of the glycosidic bonds, the complex carbohydrates formed is called a polysaccharide. Generally, several hundred to several thousand monosaccharide units may be linked by glucosidic bonds in a polysaccharide molecule, either the simple unbranched chain or in branched filaments. In nature, cellulose and starch are most abundant polysaccharides, and second to it is the fructose present in plants, especially in grasses. Most of the starch are present as the starch grain in endosperm of seed. Fructose may be found in the roots, tuber, or corm of the plants belonging to their families Liliaceae, Eliaceae, and Asteraceae. Now, structurally, polysaccharides are of two types. One is homopolysaccharide and another is heteropolysaccharide. Firstly, homopolysaccharide. This type of polysaccharides consist of one type of monosaccharides units, like cellulose starch consist of only glucose monomer. But heteropolysaccharides, this type of polysaccharides consist of two or more types of monosaccharide molecules, like hemicellulose, pectin, gums, etc. Firstly, cellulose. The main structural components of cell wall of a plant cell is cellulose. It is a polysaccharide. It is a polymer of glucose. The chemical symbol is C6H10O5 whole into N. Glucose molecules is linked at beta 1,4 carbon to form cellulose. In cotton, cellulose is 90 to 94%, whereas 50 to 60% in wood. It plays vital role in garments or textile industry, ribbon, furniture and photo film industry. Men cannot digest cellulose because they have no cellulose enzyme in the stomach or intestine, but cows, cattle can do it. It is tasteless, colorless, white solid biochemical substance. It is insoluble and non-reducing. It is used in paper and cotton industry. It has no nutritious value. This is the structure of cellulose. Characteristics of cellulose. It is a tasteless, odorless polysaccharide. It is insoluble in water and organic solvent. It is generally chemically inert substance without reducing capacity. It produces glucose molecules when hydrolyzed with concentrated acid solution. Now, use of cellulose. Cellulose is the major constituent of the plant cell wall and provides length to the cell and protects the cell from blasting. It is the main constituent of textile fiber and main raw materials for textile industries. Paper, filter papers, photo film, packaging materials, etc., are made up of cellulose. Cellulose are used in preparing nitrate explosive. It is also used as the main component of cattle feeds. Now, structure of starch. Structure of starch. Characteristics of starch. Starch is a tasteless, odorless, colorless, powdery substance. In room temperature, is insoluble in water and alkaline solution. It forms deep blue color in iodine solution. When hydrolysis by acid or enzyme, it breaks first into dextrin, then maltose, and finally its D-glucose. Use of starch. Starch is the storage food in plant and it is the principal food components for animals. It is used in preparation of glucose, alcohol, and fermented wine. Starch is used in manufacturing paper, gums, etc. Starch is used in textile industries. Now, classification based on the reducing capacity. Based on the reducing capacity, carbohydrates may be of two types: reducing sugar and non-reducing sugar. Those carbohydrates which contain at least one free aldehyde or ketone group which reduce the alkaline ions are known as reducing sugar. Glucose fructose is the main example of reducing sugar. Non-reducing sugar, carbohydrates having no free aldehyde or ketone groups cannot reduce alkaline ions. Such carbohydrates are known as non-reducing sugar. Sucrose, cellulose, etc. are the example of non-reducing sugar. When the non-reducing sugars are hydrolyzed, reducing sugar are produced. Numbers. Classification based on taste. Based on taste, carbohydrates are of two types. One is sugar and another is non-sugar. These are sweets in taste generally uh, grainy and soluble in water, such as glucose, fructose, sucrose, etc. And non-sugar, these are non-sweet in taste, no grainy, and insoluble in water, such as cellulose and starch. Now, my dear cadets, it's a time for homework. Look at this, my dear cadets. It's a sequel creative question, and for for Sikh for Sikh Hassan, his brother sent to packets of medicine by post. The sweetness of two things in those packets was respectively 70 and 140, and they are isomer in to each other. First question: what is metabolism? Second question: what do you mean by reducing sugar? Third question: describe the ring structure of object in packet A as mentioned in the stream. Lastly, give your opinion on the basis of the difference between the packet A and B. My dear cadets, no more today. Thank you, my dear cadets, for attending my online class. If you have any question and query on my class, you can clarify it having online session with me at the period of your scheduled classes. Thank you for patient hearing and viewing. At last, stay on home because we are passing critical and crucial moment and maybe the second wave of COVID-19 is knocking at the door. Take healthy food, take necessary rest, and take fresh drinking water. Wash your both hands with soap frequently. Don't go outside here and there. Please take care of your parents. Pray to Almighty Allah 5 times so that we all are overcome this crucial situation. May Almighty Allah bless us all. Thank you once again. Your next class is cell chemistry and topic is lipid.